And again, at the end, I'm going to give my one little tip that I have that has worked for me for years, and I love it. And everyone can do it literally right after the show. Make sure you watch the end of the show. That's the most important. And then do it afterwards. So here's what we do. Number one action item. We all have a ton of things to do. Prioritize your tasks. This is what we have. So many things, they're jumbled. And I see this now with my kids, Benny. They don't write anything physically. I'm old school. I have a pen right here. They don't write things down. So I tell my son, the beauty of crossing something off on a list and having it go is prioritizing the tasks. So creating the daily tasks and weekly, daily, prioritize it. Focus on the most important task first to avoid feeling overwhelmed and go from there. So that's number one. Prioritize your tasks. It's so simple. And I say, don't do it digitally, Benny. Write it down on a list, because the satisfaction of taking a piece of paper and crossing it off, it's such a tactile moment between your brain and the body. You're going, wow, that was satisfying. Just knowing at the end of the day, you'll have your list crossed off. And maybe that gives your day an end and it's stored in your long-term memory. That's less time you need to waste looking things up, finding things, storing things. It's there. Trust yourself in that sense. But tip number two, and you discussed this earlier, set boundaries. Establish clear boundaries between your work and your personal time by somewhat defining specific work hours or just unplugging from work-related activities outside those hours. Now, it may not be a whole day. It may not be a whole day of rest if you don't want to. It may just be a specific time. Like you said, someone texted you now. I am not responding for an hour. And that time has been the boundary you set between those two tasks. So that's tip number two. Number one is prioritize tasks. Number two, set boundaries. And I know you're a fan of that and you already do that in your business and family life. So number four, practice self-care. Now, this is really important. And this is a burgeoning industry that in other countries, especially, it's been more in the mainstream. But in America, it's almost been taboo to say, I'm going to take time and have some self-care because I should be working, hustle. And that will lead to burnout. That will lead to lack of balance. So make self-care a priority, whether it's a little bit of time or a lot of time. Incorporate regular exercise, meditation, hobbies, any kind of relaxation technique into your routine that helps you recharge and reduce stress. Whether it's setting off a specific full day, whether it's an hour, whether it's taking a midday jog or a midday nap. That's super important self-care. And that is not making you a slacker, which is like a big thing in the American culture, but instead it's recharging you and allowing you to work more productively, more efficiently. And that's super important too.